somehow persuaded Alfred, who was the fair-haired young man at Winthrop Stimson at the time, recalled his son Edwin Thorne. But my father was a good salesman, and he persuaded him to give up the law and join him. They were not good friends particularly, but they obviously knew each other, and father had a great admiration for Alfred's talents. It was an interesting jump, and an interesting combination of two people. Landon was an Irish charmer, said Evans. He was smart and so handsome, and full of such joie de vivre. He could sell anything to anybody. No one could say no to him, not even Alfred. Thorne had his own reasons for wanting to go into business with his brother-in-law. By the end of the First World War, Thorne, who had served as army captain during the war, was also feeling restless upon his return to Bonbright, which had seen better times. In the intervening years, most of the firm's founding members had died, retired, or lost interest, and the brash, energetic young Thorne had made quite a name for himself, in 1 year selling so many bonds that his commissions ran up into the 6 figures, more than the partners were pulling down in profits. At 30, he was already widely regarded as one of Wall Street's most resourceful and cool-headed operators. As a result, the powers at Bonbright huddled and invited him in as a partner. Thorne naturally accepted, only to discover that the partners had been kept in the dark about the company's precarious financial health, and the business was on the brink of ruin. The post-war financial slump had dried up a lot of the firm's old business and left it with a vast assortment of unrealizable assets, not the least of which was a firm that owned prunes in now Bolshevist Russia. After reviewing the company's figures with Loomis, who had become well acquainted with the house's affairs while serving as its legal counsel at Winthrop and Stimson, Thorne was convinced it might be possible to revive Bonbright's flagging fortunes. He proposed a plan to Loomis in which the two of them, with the pledged support of Charles A. Coffin, president of General Electric, would form a partnership to quietly buy up the majority control of Bonbright. Together, they would reorganize the firm and set off on a more lucrative course. According to Edwin Thorne, who followed his father and older brother into the family business, father figured he had to get somebody really knowledgeable, with a scientific turn of mind, because he wanted to get the firm to move into financing utility companies. He figured that was the area to be in. And Loomis had all the right contacts. At Aberdeen, he had met many of the top scientists at General Electric, who were developing new things for the utility business, including bigger transmission lines and other modernizations. Loomis was quickly convinced of the partnership's potential and wasted no time breaking the news to Stimson. Characteristically, his cousin was equally prompt in his reply. He sent Loomis a telegram expressing his hopes that they could still meet as planned, concluding simply, "Roberts, senior partner at Winthrop and Stimson, willing to release you." Loomis returned to his old law firm only long enough to clear out his desk. By the fall of 1919, he had joined Thorne at Bonbright's offices at 25 Nassau Street. The two brothers-in-law pooled their resources and scrounged capital from relatives. Thorne asked several family members, including his father, to back them, but only his uncle, Samuel Thorne, came through with the money. Then, one day in 1920, they broke the news to their partners that the investment firm they had organized in secret, Thorne, Loomis and Company, had bought a majority share of Bonbright. There followed a series of sudden retirements, and the founders, William P. and Irving W. Bonbright, liquidated their interests. Loomis and Thorne took control of the company, and the bloodless coup, which came to be known as the deal by which the Bonbrights vanished from Bonbright, sealed the young upstart's cutthroat reputation. Almost at once, they began specializing in public utility issues, and quickly emerged as leaders in the financing and developing of the electric power industry. What appealed to Loomis was the challenge of shaping the nascent industry. He had no respect for the old-school Wall Street capitalists' skills. He relished the opportunity to reinvent their creaky methods.